All right, I wanted to talk a little bit about what happens when you have multiple parties and gerrymandering combined. Just as a quick review, in the main video, we had this situation where there are 15 voters, 8 of which are Buffalo, 7 of which are Jackalope, and depending on how you draw the districts, you can get any result that you want. You can either have the Buffalo win 4-1, or you can get the Jackalope win 3-2. Right, now this is not a good situation, but it gets worse if you add more political parties. So we're going to add in Turtle to the mixture here. And I need to make the voting population a little bit bigger to show you the effect. So now we're going to have a 25-member population. There are 6 Turtle voters, 9 Jackalope voters, and 10 Buffalo voters. And you can see on the right-hand side that we have a pie chart showing the overall proportion of the population. The best situation that you can get with this group is if you have 1 Turtle district, you get 2 Jackalope districts, and 2 Buffalo districts. And then the percentage of the representatives and the percentage of the voters match pretty closely. But as you expect, if you gerrymander these districts around a little bit, you can change the results quite dramatically. First, we can have Buffalo win an additional seat, so they get a majority in the House. So they have 3 districts against Turtles 1 and Jackalopes 1. You can completely push the Turtles out, so Jackalope gets 2 representatives and Buffalo gets 3 representatives. You can set it up so that Jackalope, who's a minority party, they actually end up getting the majority in the House, with 3 seats to Buffalo's 2. And in the weirdest situation, you can end up getting 2 Turtle representatives to 3 Jackalope representatives. And Buffalo, who's actually the largest section of the population, they get no representation at all. I think part of the trouble in actually explaining gerrymandering and plurality voting is because on an individual case-by-case basis, and each of these districts kind of makes sense. Right? If we just take a look at one, for example, right, there's 3 Turtle voters, there are 2 Buffalo voters, so it makes sense. Well, this district gets a Turtle representative. While on a nationwide scale, right, you might not get results that you want. For each individual case, it's kind of hard to argue against. But the situation gets much more complicated if you add more parties. So if we add in gorilla voters and wolf voters here, right now this district is no longer a Turtle district, it's now a Buffalo district, because Buffalo has the most voters. Right? Under first past the post / plurality, that's all you need to actually win. You don't need a majority of the population, you just need the largest number of voters. But this can quickly lead to some pretty horrifically unrepresentative results. So if we go back to our 25 population, if we turn a bunch of those Jackalope and Turtle voters into third-party voters, we can take a look at the overall population on that pie chart, and you see, again, Buffalo is the plurality of voters with 40%, but you have 60% of voters represent some other party. But under this districting situation, none of them get representatives except for the Buffalo, who win every single district because they have 2 votes that are concentrated versus 3 votes that are separated. And this is why if you have districting and gerrymandering and you're using first-past-the-post voting, it's really hard to have more than 2 political parties, because it's very easy for the larger parties to just completely push out any other representation that you might get. And I didn't have the time to actually show a larger population, but just so you can quickly see, you can make this as ridiculous as you actually want to. Here we just have 5 voters, but if we change it to 10 voters, right, Buffalo still wins this district, even though they're only 20% of the population, and you can make this district as large as you want, and as long as you keep adding additional separated voters, you can make Buffalo as small a percentage as you want, but they still actually win the district. Thank you very much for watching.